welcome back to Cheddar Business. That's Up King. I'm Baker Machado. 70% less sugar, up to 8 times the protein. Totally grain-free. Sounds great, right? Well, that's the promise behind the new 3 Wishes cereal, which has already raised more than $1 million so far in investments. Joining us now is Margaret and Ian Wishingrad, co-founders of 3 Wishes. Guys, great to have you here. Ian, good to see you as always. What inspired you guys to create a healthier but still tasty cereal?
Yeah, so 2.5 years ago we had our son, and you become a first-time mom and you become super paranoid about all the things you feed them. And I had a moment where I was like, I loved eating cereal as a kid.
Ditto.
My kid would love to eat cereal, but I just didn't feel comfortable feeding him anything that, was on the market. So we created our own product. Which
is really smart because growing up, I'm sure you guys were the same. There were so many sugary cereals out there. I feel like Cookie Crisp kind of ruined it all because then my mom was like, there's too many sugary cereals.
They jumped the shark.
At the end of the day. So what did it take to create something like this? Because having high protein, no sugar, but still tasting like a sugary cereal seems like it'd be a difficult thing to kind of get to.
Yeah, so it was 2 years of innovation, and we worked tirelessly, tried a million different ingredients to get a product that tasted like the things we grew up eating, knowing, and loving. And then 2 years later, now we have our product as well.
Usually, to create this, you need to use some very nutrient-dense ingredients, but the idea of chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca for breakfast is not usually a proposition that people are ready for. So what you want to do is you want to make it look fun and healthy, and then they go, I'm eating chickpeas and pea protein?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's fascinating is that there is a trend now to use pea protein in lots of things. I guess I'm thinking about, your child and how we talk about what's healthy and what's not, and there's also been a movement away from processed food. So help us understand the balance of eating something that is still pretty processed. I mean, these things do not naturally combine, and you can't, buy them off a shelf specifically, but then also trying to make it sort of healthy.
I think everything is a step change. So we're exponentially healthier than what's out there, but yes, it's not the same as a spirulina shake. So you have to kind of pick your battles here. I think anything that moves people in a healthier, better, nutrient-dense thing is better. But yes, ultimately it's still a processed food.
By the way, there's a lot of interest in breakfast area and especially the cereal area as well. You guys have already raised about $1 million so far. What do investors see in this category as to why you guys are getting a lot of money, and how do you kind of separate yourself from other competitors out there that are trying to do something similar?
So what they see is, if you look at other categories like Banza, what Banza's done to pasta and what Siete has done to chips, no one's really had that moment or done that with breakfast cereal. So as an investor, you look at different verticals and you go, oh, cereal's definitely primed for disruption. And seeing our early, how excited the buyers are for this product does validate kind of where we're going. So ultimately, the ability to make it at a fair price point on shelf is how you really bring cereal. Cereal's ultimately a very American thing. It's like, if you have multiple kids, it's cost effective, they could serve themselves. Not every morning is pancakes, eggs, and spirulina. And so we wanted to create something that really was for America as well.
Amazing. And how did you actually make this in your home? Did you
you cannot make it in your home.
I have all these ideas. Okay. Well,
it would be much easier.
How do you prototype something like this?
Yeah, so we had a food scientist that we hired to create the product, and you find the right co-packer that has the right capabilities, and you just iterate and try and make it work.
By the way, yes, we gotta try it.
I
cinnamon, a good choice too, by the way. So this particular one has, oh, here you go. I'm gonna give you 3.
Thanks, 3.
How appropriate.
120 calories, 8 grams of protein. The fat content's really low. Sugar quality, only 3 grams of sugar in something like this.
You want me to do my pitch? Here's what I do. I'm like a carnival barker on the weekend, standing in stores. You want to try a healthier,
really good,
right?
Really,
you want to try a healthier version of the bad-for-you breakfast cereals? And they're all like, that's interesting. We have 70% less sugar, 8 grams of protein. That's like 2 eggs.
This tastes like Apple Jacks.
Really
this is actually really, really spectacular.
I love Apple
So by the
Jacks.
way, Amazon has been very good for you guys. What's the strategy? Are you guys doing D2C, or is e-commerce, is D2C still something for you guys, or are you guys doing brick and mortar?
Yes, so ultimately we raise money, and we believe, given 95% of people like to buy groceries in the grocery store, go win at the grocery store. That said, online provides some really nice benefits to us. You can get very surgical in who you're targeting. So having a low sugar cereal allows us to potentially go for diabetics. Having a grain-free cereal allows us to go people with a gluten intolerance. So there are ways to get very surgical online, but we're not going online in the same approach of where we'll just spend whatever it takes to acquire a customer. We have to be super judicious about how we do it.
What's the price point on this? Because we know healthier cereals tend to be a little bit more expensive. For instance, Magic Spoon, one of your guys' competitors, they're almost like $10 a box for some of these things. Where are you guys at?
So we'll be $5.99 in most retailers, and we're online. So back to just a quick second on the Amazon strategy and all these other things. For me as a mom, it was really important to be anywhere I shop as a mom, right? And so being on Amazon, great and wonderful and so convenient. Love getting things to my door. Ian hates that Santa Claus is at our door every other day. And then just being in store and being able to go to the retailers you love and pick it up off the shelf is really important. But we should be at $5.99 at most retailers.
That's a good price point.
And then we'll do deals.
Yeah, of course. What I love is that the chickpea is getting a lot of attention recently, as the cauliflower is. When did we start discovering chickpeas' power?
I mean, you could look at Bonzo, right? I mean, there was these early movements, but if you start looking, I think Bonzo was one of the first people that said, hey, you could substitute a wheat or something that you're normally doing for a chickpea, and proved it. I think they're the fastest growing pasta in America. And so we love that product as well, and we said, oh, well, what else can chickpeas be used for?
Really quickly, guys, 3 flavors out right now. Any expansion in terms of future flavors?
So yeah, we're working on a few. We're working
There
on
won't be a cheddar flavor.
That's
Sorry,
lost for us.
but we're going to come out with single serves and do other things to be able to get as many people trying it as possible. Ultimately, in this game, we have to get it in people's mouths, and that's our best form of acquisition.
Very smart. Ian Wishingrad and his wife Margaret Wishingrad as well, co-founders of 3 Wishes. Great to have you guys here. Congratulations on all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, let's get you some other headlines, and we're going to throw it over to our own Hannah Doba, who is live over at Headquarters with the latest Cheddar news. Hello, Hannah.
Hey guys, save me some cereal, by the way.
Yes.
That looks amazing. Seriously, save me some.